Amidst the desert ruins of an ancient civilization, you take on the role of Glyph, a mechanical scarab tasked with exploring the sand-drowned ruins of this once mighty civilization. Buried beneath shifting sands and rolling dunes, this one mighty empire has taken their secrets with them, and it's up to you to find out what those were. Be warned though, the further you go, the harder it becomes to extract those secrets. Will you take on the challenge of navigating the lost remnants of this world, or will the truth be buried forever beneath the sands of time? And with that out of the way, that's pretty much all the background there is to Bulwark Games' light physics-based puzzle platformer, Glyph. As the construct Glyph, you'll be spending nearly all your time in ball mode, rolling across the landscape, well prey to the whims of physics in whatever form that might take. But fear not, as you're not entirely helpless. Glyph has a few abilities that the game's tutorials will take you through in an extensive fashion. What you learn during this section will be the basis for how you navigate the game's multiple navigation puzzle levels. Glyph can jump, or more correctly bounce, when in contact with surfaces, whereas specific tiles will allow you to double jump as well. Glyph can use the ground slam ability on these tiles to launch itself even higher into the air. The final ability you learn unfurls Glyph into an avatar mode that allows for short flight duration to cover larger distances between ledges and platforms. Combining these abilities together, while paying attention to the way different physics will affect your movement, is key to success. Bulwark Games have designed levels that, while small, will both entertain and challenge you in equal measure. Sporting a vaguely Egyptian motif, the ruins that you need to traverse are usually the final remnants of toppled pillars, shattered buildings, tilted ledges and tiles. Navigating your way across these levels can be an arduous and tricky affair that usually requires all of Glyph's moveset to complete. As a ball, Glyph rolls around as physics would dictate to a degree, meaning that you're constantly nudging him back and forth across the environment, lest momentum lets you roll off a ledge into the deadly sands, or the clouds, as some levels are set in them, below. But Glyph isn't slavishly locked to the laws of physics. A jump can carry you quite far on its own, and Glyph has just enough floatiness and air control to make even the minutest course corrections. That said, you're not just jumping around. Scattered across each level are coins to collect, gems to find, and most importantly, keys that open the level exit. There are also artifacts to procure, and different avatar forms to unlock. The avatar forms are cosmetic only, but the other items are needed to progress. Once you've exited the Toro into the game's hub, coins will unlock new levels, while gems open up new pathways to new levels within the hub. The artifacts will open up the game's incredibly challenging time trial levels. If you die during a level, and it only takes touching the corrupted sands once to send Glyph back to the beginning of the stage, keys and artifacts are reset, but thankfully the coins you've picked up stay with you. And you will die a lot, because Glyph is an incredibly challenging game that walks a tight line between fun enough to pick up for some relaxing platforming, but hard enough to ensure a tense playing experience that, when you finally complete a level, you're rewarded with a sense of satisfaction. Very early on, the challenge picks up significantly, even in the levels that have a lower skull rating. Levels are rated from 1 to 5 skulls for difficulty. Often, I'd find that I'd been holding my breath, and my shoulders were tense when I had completed a level. It was often a relief to be able to put my Switch down for a well-deserved break between what was ultimately a rewarding experience. Naturally, your completion times are recorded, and you can go back to replay these levels for better times if you prefer. Like a parkour game, finding that perfect line takes time, but it's worth the effort. The time trial levels are where Glyph throws its hardest challenges at you. They're small, but require serious mastery of the game's mechanics if you want to reach its gold, silver, and bronze rewards. The gold time can be as low as 10 seconds, and each tier of the time trial will net you a gem, making the effort worth it. Visually, Glyph is a beautifully stylized game that ran perfectly well on my Switch Lite, and is drenched in a wonderful, fable-like aesthetic and atmosphere. Controls for Glitch are pitch perfect as well, ensuring that any failures are your own and not down to wonky physics. Packing in a ton of levels, Glyph is a sort of platforming experience that doesn't come around often, with stunning visuals, solid controls, and gameplay that'll appeal to both those looking for laid-back exploration and nerve-wracking platforming. Glyph soars above the competition, and should be in your collection.